Alrighty. Hello everybody, my name is Cal, short for Calisto, and today I'm going to be playing Cinderella Phenomenon. So this stream is actually a little bit late because I took a nap at like 4 p.m. and then woke up at 7 p.m. and then I read 3D Kanojo for like 2 hours. And then it was like 9:30 and I realized, oh, well then. Because I distinctly remember saying on Monday, hey, I'm going to play Cinderella Phenomenon on Thursday. And it wasn't exactly 9:30. It was like 9:30 when I was doing something else. And then I realized at like 10, I'm like, oh, whoops. By the way, I'm eating Costco pizza. It's the most amazing thing. It's cold, but I like cold pizza because I don't have to taste the sauce that much. Which is like the reason I don't like pizzas most of the time. It's like, boy, without the sauce it wouldn't be pizza. I understand. I really do. I just don't like the sauce on pizza. But I still have it, so that's why I eat cold pizza, so I don't have to taste it that much. You get me? My reasoning skills are on point. Alright. So last time on Cinderella Phenomenon, we partnered up with Rumpel, although we were like, oh, we aren't partners, but we work together. And what we found out about Rumpel is that he's really good with dealing with herbs, and he saved a little boy who called him a doctor. That's, like, all I can remember. But I think he can't remember his own name, and he didn't sign off normally on his diary, on his journal entries, which he supposedly said that he normally does. So I think it has something to do with the curse and why the boy didn't remember him. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's go. It's like lagging. I mean, you might say, oh, it lags all of the time. Well, it's lagging more than usual for me. What a brilliant day. The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. It sounds like I'm getting easier to read too. No, you've just said it enough times that I memorized it. That means you must pay attention to my words. That in itself is a compliment, princess. It is not. I changed your voice a bit. We're on our way to the usual store to restock our medications when a small figure leaves out through the front door. She stares at us with a lost look on her face. Who is there? Rumpel reacts immediately, making his way over to her with a broad smile. Madame, I can't help but notice the pained expression upon your beautiful face. Is there anything that I can do to assuage your worries? For seeing your lovely face shadowed with such sadness stabs me right in the heart. Watch that be his sister? The woman stares at Rumpel, dumbfounded. His smile wavers, and he takes a step back, suddenly looking alarmed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's you! Huh? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is awkward, madame, but I'm afraid I don't know you. What? Or do I? Do I know you? I take a step forward and look at the woman flatly. He has been cursed. He has amnesia. Amnesia? The woman stares at Rumpel, scrutinizing him. You do seem different. Changed from before, in any case. So you knew me before? How terrible it is of me to forget such a lovely face. But perhaps you could help me remember. The usual flirty suggestion is in his voice, but the woman seems ineffective. I can help you remember. You can? It's no wonder I can't remember your name. You have the fairy tale curse, don't you? She's probably cursed. Who is this woman? You truly don't remember me? I'm sorry. The woman looks conflicted, but the expression is gone as fast as it appears. Wait, hold on a second. You can't see Rumpel's face! Oh, put that right there. Although it's unaffected. Ineffective. I'm just gonna shrink it like that. I'm Bria, your fiancé. What? The shock is apparent on my face, but nowhere near as impassive as the astonishment on Rumpel's face. I don't believe that. Like, I've read enough stuff where the person has amnesia and they're like, oh, I'm your girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend. Oh, my fiancé? She has to be lying. How can Rumpel possibly have a fiancé with the way he is? He's barely able to dedicate himself to a single woman for an hour. Bria takes a step forward and takes Rumpel's hands in her own. You don't remember holding my hands like this when you took me to the forest and proposed to me? Rumpel opens his mouth, but no words escape. He reminds me of a lost dog all of a sudden with his eyes so wide. Bria runs her fingers over his hands. I loved you, you loved me, and I love you very and I still love you very much. I don't remember this. How can I help you remember? Rumpel's voice is faint, but he still tries to smile. The circumstances of the curse tell me that I need to remember through memories in a journal somehow. A journal? I have your old journals. I can show you the very first love letter you wrote me. Bria starts walking, her hands still clasped in Rumpel's. I stare after them for a few moments, trying to piece together what's happening in my head. I chase after them. Bria enters a house, one that Rumpel stares at in awe. When she comes back out, she's holding a journal. She hands it to Rumpel, then opens up to the first page. This is a little embarrassing, but there it is. You compiled your letters into a journal. Rumpel slowly reads over the words, and I notice the strange glazed look come back into his eyes as his expression grows more somber. This is like the last time when he remembered that he was a doctor. Bria turns to me as Rumpel's reading and her eyebrows arch. And who are you? His partner. Partner? We are helping each other with our curses. Oh, you're cursed too? You poor thing. Bria's voice is flat. She's glaring at me beneath her smile. She knows me. I have done nothing to merit the distrust from her. And I cannot bring myself to trust her either. I wouldn't either, Bria. Rumpel looks up from the journal and stares at her. Yes, sweet? Rumpel's melancholy expression throws me off. The last time he was so excited he realized he was a doctor, but now his expression is heartbreaking. I remember. I did propose to you. In the forest, when it was dark, You set up little lights around the clearing. We spoke for a while, and then when you got down on your knee, you dropped the ring. It had fallen in the roots of some tree. We only noticed it when a bird came down to pluck it out of the bramble. I had no idea what you were looking for, but it still chased after the bird. And you got the ring back and you knew. Bria holds out her hands, and I notice a beautiful red-green gem ring on her ring finger. It was still charming, though. I laughed for so long because it felt so memorable. Plucking your engagement ring out of a bird's beak. You're right. Rumpel smiles a little uncertainly. In that moment, I turn away from him. He does not... I feel him turn away from me. He doesn't realize I'm there, standing with Bria. Why am I feeling so uncomfortable? You said you were helping Rumpel with his curse, yes? She turns to me. There's no worry, I can help him now. That's what couples do. I have to force the pity out of my heart. I have to force myself to think rationally. Something still seems off about this. But Rumpel remembers, which means this is the truth, isn't it? No. I'm still his partner. I'm still his partner. I still feel something is wrong. I don't trust this woman. Do you know anything about him, dear? Have you helped him regain any of his memories? She was with me when I regained my memories. Lucette is a very valuable good luck charm. Rumpel flashes a small smile at me before turning to Bria. Her eyes seemed a lot colder now. Well, shit. Ah, goddamn. Why did I open the I opened the calculator. Why is it... what the hell? Why is it so behind? Ah! I think I've been streaming for like 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Tell me, what do you go by now? Until we figure out your name, I need something to call you. Rumpel. Bria's cold gaze falls on me, and I can sense something in them that surprises me. Jealousy? Why would she be jealous of me? Rumpel, would you maybe want to come back home with me? What? I know you must be overwhelmed, but our home might be able to help you remember some things. I'm sorry. I actually have a patient somewhere else that I need to tend to. Bria's eyes flash briefly. Her friend is there for a few seconds before she smiles again. Aw. My pizza's not cold anymore. It's just room temperature pizza. Oh. I know what everybody says. It's unprofessional to eat during a gaming session. Like, who the hell made that up? If people want to eat, they can eat. You were always good with your patience. I'm sorry. It's okay. I understand that you're overwhelmed. But remember, now I'm here for you too. I want to mend things, to make them go back to what they were before. How about you look over that journal and then we meet again tomorrow? We can take this one step at a time. I would like that. We can get to know each other again, and in time I'm sure you'll remember what we used to have. I loved you. And I did too. I still do. A slight shiver runs down my spine as I stare at the two of them. There's that uncomfortable feeling once again. Bria and Rumpel agree on the spot to meet tomorrow, and then she leans up to kiss Rumpel on the cheek. He puts a hand on his cheek as she walks away with a gentle smile on her face. Are you okay? He looks at me, and for a few moments I feel that gaze linger longer than it normally does on my own eyes. Then he smiles and laughs. Of course I am, Princess. I just remembered something about my own past. I'm guessing that the second entry has appeared in my journal by now. It might not be there. I can't wait to get back to the Martian to read it. Bria has the rest of my journal, so I might actually be able to remember everything if I talk to her. Including your love for her? He sighs out before he proclaims that we should finish our errands. I follow him around the town, though the scenery lacks its usual vibrancy. Rumpel doesn't speak to anyone, not even the girls, while we walk. He keeps his eyes focused on the ground, and when he speaks to the shop owners, his cheer is lukewarm at best. I try to start a conversation with him many times, but he just shies away from talking. I feel there's something he's not telling me. I think he fell out of love. Or she found something. Maybe she was like cheating or something, and he found out, and so he just went off. When we arrived at the Martian, Rumpel quickly excuses himself, not even sharing his epiphany about his past with anyone. What is him so bent out of shape? He just regained mother memory. I'm assuming he's going to go read about it now. It's not like him to hide things. I hope Rumpel's okay. Cinderella Phenomenon. Oh. It's been about a week since Rumpel regained his last memory. He's been meeting with Bria since then, but he still hasn't told me about the memory from the journal. He does not flirt with any girls, but when he sees me, his smile looks broken. He spends his days visiting Bria and tending to Parfait. You're worried about Rumpel, aren't you? Why would I be worried about him? Because Rumpel's no longer able to run errands with me, Waltz decided to take his place. But Waltz's presence cannot make up for Rumpel's absence. He'll be fine, Princess. He's still figuring things out. I do not trust that woman. His fiancée? She appeared out of nowhere. People who aren't cursed can't find the tavern, Princess. She would never have been able to find him. So really the only place she could have met him was out here out of nowhere. I can tell that he's teasing me, but it does little to lift my spirits. I knew. Walt sighs. If you don't trust her, why not just ask around for her? She obviously does not want to talk to me. No, I mean ask others about her. As long as you find a way to phrase your intentions honestly, I think they might understand you. Rumpel says that my honesty is good, but I know that the way that I speak frustrates many people. Come on, I'll help. Waltz approaches a flower shop where several people are gathered to look at the fresh flowers. Excuse me, madam, sir. I was wondering if you knew anything about someone named Bria. We heard that she's engaged to a friend of ours, but he hasn't said much about her. Everyone calls me blunt, but I would never question others so openly. Does Waltz really expect the people to be so open to him? Oh, if it isn't Waltz! Doing a little investigative work, aren't you? Just looking to find out more about someone important to a friend. Not going to put this into one of your shows, are you? Waltz raises an eyebrow and laughs. Of course not. Everyone just trusts Waltz. I suppose he must speak to people often, being a performer. They would probably never suspect Waltz to do anything morally questionable, and as with me, they were suspicious of everything that I did. I guess it's a good thing that Waltz is here. A stifle a sigh as the so-called investigation begins. But Bria, I was under the impression that her fiancé wasn't seeing her anymore. Bria! Oh, poor Bria. I heard that the poor dear made a mistake and that her fiancé threw her out for it. Is she engaged to someone new now? I'm not surprised, given the affair that she had on her first fiancé. I fucking knew it, man! Excuse me, what did you just say? Oh? You weren't aware? I'm terribly sorry. Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything. You said she cheated on her first fiancé? She was engaged to some man, a doctor, I believe. He was a good man, always smiled, helped everyone, including the poor. I don't see how she would have had the gall to do it, but the rumors state that she was seeing another man. I think I saw them out together sometime. He was a rich businessman. Who was he? I believe he was one of the doctor's patients. Did anyone see this for sure, ma'am? Oh, lots of people did. That's why the poor man stopped seeing her. Bless his heart. He looked heartbroken. But then the two of them were engaged. She should have been more committed to him. When Bria first approached Rumpel, she had no idea he had amnesia. She started apologizing to him. Was it for that affair, or am I just speculating? We thank the woman for her help before continuing to ask around town for more information. The more we hear, the more certain we become. She cheated on him. Princess, I know that what you're thinking, but it would be incredibly rash to tell Rumpel about this. But she's lying to him! I can still remember the sadness in his eyes. Maybe somewhere deep down he still knows. Did his journal entry not say anything? You can try talking to him, Princess, but without any evidence. We're just going off rumors. If you were wrong, I think that would hurt the situation a lot more. I'm forced to acknowledge Waltz's reasonings. As much as I want to tell Rumpel right now, I don't even know where he is. We finished our errands for the day and returned to the Martian, where I complete my chores around the tavern before retiring to bed. Okay. Later that night, after turning for hours in bed without any success of sleep, I make my way downstairs for a glass of milk. I stepped abruptly at the sound of hushed voices. Parfait and Rumpel are sitting together at a table, their voices soft. It means a lot to me that you're still taking care of me, even with everything that you have on your plate. When things are uncertain as they are right now, the little thing that remains the same are actually comforting. What, no compliments tonight? He clears his throat. Lady Parfait, I always find comfort in your presence. Your heart's not in it, is it? Please don't stress yourself out trying to take care of me. I've seen the orders of the medicines and the dosages. I can take care of myself, Rumpel. It's doing the thing again! Hell! Oh well. I owe you and Lady Delore for letting me stay here. Even now you would have kicked me out, yet I'm still here. This isn't the confident Rumpel that I'm used to seeing. It's rather heartbreaking to see you like this, you know. Parfait's eyes drift past Rumpel, and she sees me before I can dart away. I think you're worrying your partner, too. Rumpel turns in his seat and stares at me. Princess? I slowly make my way towards them. I'm sorry, Princess. I haven't been trying to help you at all. It's fine. Parfait's right, though. It's not like you to be so pitiful. Your words are still sharp as ever. I glance at Parfait curiously. The light on the tavern lights her face up dimly, making it look more ghostly than usual. She looks sicklier. Do you think I look like a ghost, Princess? Yes. By the time night comes around, I'm utterly exhausted. You said you were like this because of the tenebrodum luces you have to take care of, right? That's correct. I used to be able to watch over it more easily, but now with the balance between both crystals lost in the kingdom, it's getting harder. This responsibility is a big burden. It's a heavy toll on my body. But that doesn't diminish any of my pride. I'm proud to bear this responsibility. I wonder if she's gonna learn about the responsibility, like, Lissa has to learn about the responsibility she had to learn in this route like she did with Rod's. Someone needs to do it, and I'm very glad I can help so many people through bearing this burden. What would happen if you just let the responsibility go? There would be even more chaos than there is now. And what of the tenebrodum bearer? Will they not help you with your stress? There is no tenebrodum bearer currently. What? My face stares at me for a few moments, a complicated expression on her face. Then suddenly she sighs. Please do not worry about me, Princess. I've lived a good life. I just want to do more good while I still live. I'm very lucky to be surrounded by so many good people. Anyway, the two of you should be off to bed soon. I can tell you're both tired. Parfait pauses to look at me, eyebrows slightly arched. Oh, but before you go, there was something I meant to ask you. Ask me? Parfait crosses her arms and looks at me tersely for a few moments. The look is so unlike her that it almost concerns me. She looks uncertain of something, though I cannot imagine what it is. What could she want to discuss with me? I wanted to ask you if you were free the day after tomorrow. Maybe, man. Yes, I am free. I'm free whenever my schedule says I am. Then if you could spare 20 or so minutes, I want to speak with you about something. Very important. Important? I suppose you could say it's related to your curse. Fine. Parfait smiles at us before walking back to her room, leaving me alone with Rumpel. Rumpel smiles at me uncertainly. He looks so sad. For a few moments, I think he might actually talk to me, but then he rushes off after giving me an apology. I watch him walk up the stairs, my heart sinking. I need to know what's going on with him. Today is my day off. I keep on the lookout for Rumpel. Eventually, I see him making his way down the staircase. He does not look quite as disheartened as last night, but his expression is still rather somber. He says good morning to everyone, like as he usually does, then walks out throughout the front door. And that is my cue. Following behind Rumpel without being seen proves to be remarkably easy. Even if he's perceptive, he won't be expecting me to follow him after him when I normally work during these hours. He makes his way through the town until he comes to a stop at a little cafe in the main plaza. It's cleverly hidden, just slightly out of view, not at all in plain view like the rest of the shops. Wouldn't it be easier to, like, you know, like, wear something different with, like, a hat or something? You wouldn't expect that. Bria's sitting, waiting for him at a table with a journal. The way she smiles at him numbs my heart. I make my way over to the nearby fountain and crouch beside it to keep out of their view. I can hear their conversation just barely from where I sit. You know, I've been searching for you for a long time when I saw you. You suddenly disappeared from your house on one night and I couldn't find you. Why? Why did I leave the house? I don't know. Was it a fight? No, not a fight. We barely ever fought. We made a promise when you gave me this ring. We promised we would never make each other sad. I close my eyes and breathe. Bria's words drive a bitterness through my heart after everything I heard. It is possible those rumors were baseless, but Isn't it also possible that they were the truth? And Rumpel mentioned a fight. Now's my chance to tell them. What should I do? Let me finish up this slice of pizza and then I'll give my decision. Well, even if I make the wrong decision, I'm still gonna choose the right one. Well, okay, so while I was thinking over eating that slice of pizza, I thought of the actions and what could go through with each decision. So, interrupting a conversation, that could either go well, because, hey, I inform him on something bad, but she's right there, so it's probably not the best decision. Plus, he only knows her as his fiancé, so he might go along with her side because he is defending his love. Then again, reconsidering could also be, you know, a bad decision because, you know, hey, she might do... Oh, it might be so bad. It might not be so bad, but he might not remember anything about it because he keeps on asking these questions, so I'm just gonna interrupt him. I step out from behind the fountain and slowly make my way over to the table. Rhea looks up and around. After a few moments, her eyes fall on me. She immediately scowls. What are you doing here? I came to see if you were lying to Rumpel. What? Is there something wrong, Miss Partner? Not with me, but perhaps with you. Excuse me? You seem to have quite the reputation. Princess. I have no idea what you're talking about, but taking people's words at face value is foolish. Mother would have said the same thing, but why would they lie? So it's not true that you were seeing another man? How dare you! Bria stands up and glares at me. I frown back at her. Her anger does not faze me. She seems like a petulant child. I can't stand jealous girls. They're the bane of my existence. And you're what, 18? 17. But what does that even matter? Either way, there'd just be about a 6-year age gap between you two. 24? Gods, am I really so ancient? The two of us look at him in unison, then back at each other. I'm here because I want to help my partner and because you're lying to him. And who are you to say that I'm lying? You're just terrible little spy is what you are. Hiding places to watch us, going around town asking about me. I'm telling you that now that Rumpel doesn't need you, especially if you're the one spewing lies. Okay, hold on. Okay, so she just made herself look bad. We're okay. We are okay. Those words have no weight coming from a hypocrite. Wait, ladies. Rumpel looks between the two of us, eyebrows furrowed. Then he shakes his head. Bria, I knew. It was in my journal. Okay, I thought so. What? Rumpel faces Bria, his expression crumpled. It was that lord, wasn't it? The one I refused to take money from that one time I helped him. He told me himself. I think that's why this feeling inside of me is so mute right now. Why I'm always having second thoughts about your stories. Bria, why didn't you ever tell me you were seeing him? I asked you that question back then too, but you never told me, and so I was waiting for you to bring it up again. I was waiting for you to explain. I was waiting for... As if I could get anything through that thick skull of yours. Even I cannot stop myself from staring at her when she insults Rumpel. But with this, she has admitted that the rumors were true. Even if I explained myself, all you would ever say is that you were sorry, but nothing ever changed. What did I do that was so wrong? Look at you! Even now you can't bring yourself to be angry at me. You know the truth instead of demanding to know why I did what I did. You keep asking what you did wrong. But you'll never realize what you did wrong, Rumpel. Never. Something's never changed. Bria scowls at me as she makes her way around the table. Rumpel tries to call her back, but Bria only frowns as she walks off. Rumpel lets out a long sigh. There go all of my journals, too. Right, he said Bria had all of his old journals. I'm sorry. Huh? I only made things worse. I'm still not entirely sure what they were talking about, but... Princess, you don't have to apologize for anything, though. I would like to apologize for shedding some light. Okay, that was the wrong choice. Fuck. But if somehow everything that I heard was one big lie, would I hurt Rumpel? I also have my pride. Yeah, I thought so. I cannot accuse someone, even if they feel that Bria is guilty of something. I step away from the fountain, meaning to head back to the way I came. Even if the situation sounds wrong, I feel Rumpel would hate me getting involved. I'm surprised when he calls my name. Princess? Okay. What are you doing here? You saw me. Did I know I was behind the fountain? Spying, are we? I make my way over to the table to where Rumpel is looking at me with worry and Bria's openly scowling at me. Is there something wrong, Miss Partner? What? I'm 24! Gods, I'm ancient. And there are all of my journals, too. Right, he said that Bria had all of his old journals. I'm sorry. Huh? I only made things worse. Yeah, why didn't she just bring all of the journals at once and let him take them if she really was that considerate? If she really wanted to help him in that situation, couldn't she have just given him his journals and let him be? I'm still not entirely sure what they were talking about, but... Princess, you don't have to apologize for anything, though. I would like you to apologize for shedding some light on my age. What? Am I really, truly that old? Suddenly he looks disgruntled, but the look of distraught on his face is almost comical. I cannot help it when I smile, then start to laugh. To my ears, deceive me. Is that a wonderful sound coming from your mouth, Princess? How precious. It's just... You're an old man. If I'm an old nana, then I'm young at heart. Besides, I would be a lot more offended if you weren't smiling when I said that. Ah! Yay, he achieved his goal! The thing that he wanted to hear from me most was my laugh. So I feel happy. Or at least that's laughed, you know. You know. After a few moments, Rumpel sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry that you had to see all of that. I knew there was more to the story than Brie was on because I read the memory in my journal. You know about the nobleman? Why did you not say anything? Like I said, I was waiting for her to say something. I wanted her to open up about it honestly. Bria is undoubtedly bold, but I doubt she's at all honest. I bet that ring is from the nobleman, because I can only imagine Rumpel giving her like a band. I don't know, man. That's just me. The journal entry. I never read it to you. You've been distant the last week. I have been, and I'm sorry for that. But allow me to enlighten you. Rumpel gestures to the chair that Bria had been sitting in, and I take a seat opposite him. First, the nobleman was one of my patients. He had a grievous sickness, and no one else had been able to cure. I cannot help but remember the little boy with the impossible sickness. It seemed he was drawn to Rumpel too. If Rumpel was not to help that boy on his own either, women offered her assistance. I say that he's the witch doctor. That's what I'm saying, because they keep on coming to him with these impossible diseases and sicknesses, but he cures them. And I say that he's the witch doctor, man. Rumpel was not able to help that boy on his own either. Someone offered her assistance. Did you manage to cure him with the help of that same woman? It's another cryptic entry, but yes, the mysterious woman from the first entry reappears. We struck another deal, but I cannot remember the deal at all. All I know is that afterwards I did something to make Bria hate me, and she began seeing the nobleman. Or maybe it was before that. Maybe she was just unhappy. She won't explain why. She still cheated on you. That's her fault, not yours. I'm gonna eat this pizza, man. Rumpel nods absently. I can tell he's not convinced. In any case, even though I can't remember the entirety of what happened, every time I thought of Bria, I thought of our love in the past tense. Rumpel frowns, but it's fleeting. Suddenly, he's smiling again. Let's head back for now, princess. I'll figure out how to reach Bria later. I follow Rumpel back to the Martian. Though he seems fine for a time, Rumpel's somberness returns as we head back. He looks like he's trapped in his own thoughts. He needs the rest of his journals, but how is he going to get hold of them now? Okay.
Oh, princess, you're here. Sorry we're late.
My, the princess is gracing us with her presence. Parfait said a few days ago that she had something to discuss with me, so I'm here. Then let's get right to it, shall we? I almost did Parfait's voice, whoops. She plops down on one of the chairs and Parfait sits gracefully beside her.
Princess, the other day you asked me about my responsibility and briefly about the Tenapodum bearer.
I did, but what does that have to do with me? It has everything to do with you, because when it comes to that second inquiry, the answer is right there. Delora points at me. I stare at her, not comprehending.
Princess, the bearer to the Crystallum Tenapodum is you.
What? I'll not be able to feel shock, just confusion. But how do I have anything to do with these crystals? See, I told you she'd be confused.
It's because we started backwards. I'm so sorry, Princess.
I do not understand.
You remember the story about the crystals? You remember the stories about the crystal, Princess? For a time, the crystals were in complete balance. Even the witches who drew in negative energy were respected.
Then one day, Hans wrote the fairy tales. Suddenly, witches were suddenly painted as villains. Humans attacked the witches, trying to drive them out.
The leader, who just so happened to be my best friend, was hard-pressed to try to keep the peace. She was the original bearer of the crystal. But as the witches were killed and thrown out, she found her patience wearing thin. She killed a human, the ultimate taboo, and there was nothing we could do but to try to stop her. This bear, the leader of the witches and the...
Why does it do this? Okay, I think we're good. I'm not in the mood to talk about this right now. My thoughts are too scrambled. Sometimes truths are hard. How do you know it was the truth? A feeling. Trusting people is hard sometimes. I understand. He looks at me and his eyes seem to glimmer softly in the moonlight. Would you like someone to listen to your problems, princess? Talk to him! I rub my eyes as Rumpel looks at me with a quiet smile. Fuck, man. Why is this always happening, man? It really frustrates me. Like, I just want to do a video or some shit, and then it's like, oh no. Maybe if I did it as a video series, it would be better, but it's just shit. He could be talking about his own problems, but instead he's trying to comfort me. Parfait and Delora told me about something they were keeping hidden from me. They told me something about Mother. It does not make any sense to me, because everything that they are saying makes her a villain. Even villains are often misunderstood or have trying circumstances. Rumpel slowly reaches out to rest his hand on top of mine. I sit up straight and stare at him, my eyes wide. Rumpel smiles at me, a slow, soft smile that crinkles the edge of his eyes. Seeing such a beautiful lady close to tears makes my heart break, you know. But if you ever need to cry, you should. Tears aren't weakness, they're just a form of expression, and even the strongest of us cry. I'm not going to cry. My mind reels and I start to feel fuzzy. Definitely the Ice Princess. The title startles me out of my thoughts. I stare at him pointedly, beginning to grimace, but Rumpel just smiles. I always thought it was a delicate name, suitable for a strong and beautiful woman. Seeing you like this, it makes me realize that the name suits you. Perhaps if everyone else meant it that way, it would not be so terrible a title. Rumpel slowly takes his hand away from mine and then smiles. Though he insists on hearing him out, I insist the opposite. For now, I want to keep what I discussed with Parfait and Delora to myself. I still need time to process it. My mousepad was stuck on my computer. Okay, I think it's working now. For tonight, I just want to forget that the conversation never happened. For some time, the two of us are silent. There are no words exchanged between the two of us, but the silence is comfortable. Then eventually, Rumpel puts a hand on my shoulder. Things will work out, Princess. I hope so. I stand and excuse myself. Good night, Rumpel. I turn and walk away. Good night, my sweet princess. I've had that said to me before. Okay, Chapter 7, Muddled Truths. Rumpel, okay, I feel a little bit sad. I feel a little bit guilty that I was just accusing him of being, that I accused him of being like Toma and Jion, because he's not at all like them. And I feel happy that he's not like them. He's just traumatized. So I'm just feeling bad now. I'm like, dang, he's not as trash as those two. And you, my little sunflower, are just as radiant as always.
Oh my, Rumpel.
It's like that whole thing with Bria never happened. He's back to flattering every woman he meets. Overthinking again, princess. I turn to see Karma grinning at me from where he sits at the table. Surprisingly, he's sitting with Jurian and Garland today, who are arguing about some kind of night stance. It's none of your business. No, it's not, but you have such a sad look on your face, I had to ask. I'd appreciate you not staring at my face. I don't need to stare to see that you're in distress. I turn on my heels and begin to walk away, irritated. Thanks, Karma. Oh. I make like the anime chopping noise. Not sure if I do it ironically or unironically. I remember I used to say this at the end of a sentence ironically, and then it slowly turned out ironic, and I'm like, shit. Even when I'm among other people, it's impossible to forget the conversation I had with Parfait and Delora. It hovers at the back of my mind constantly. We've not spoken again since yet even now. I'm still taking in what they told me before. My mother, the Tenebridum bearer, and me, a witch. The reason others always feared me is because of my blood. She's understanding now. I suppress a sigh as I attempt to return to my work. Salty? As the days go by, I notice myself becoming more and more agitated. It's stuck on a frame again. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just doing shit. Okay. Okay. Wait, shit. Half of it is the recent history lesson, and the other half is Rumpel's flirting with other women. How can he just snap his fingers and get over Bria so quickly? If he flatters every woman, does that mean he does not really mean the things that he says to me? I gather the plates off the counter, putting them on a tray and taking them to customers. Today everything feels so mechanical. For the last few days, I've been noticing that I walk more stiffly, and that if I walk too quickly, my vision blurs, probably because of my overthinking. I stumble as I bring a tray to a familiar customer. The man looks up and asks me if I'm okay, and I murmur that I am before walking off. She needs to rest, man. The blurriness comes back. What is wrong with me? I look over at Rumpel, who's at a table with 2 girls because his shift is over. Rather than boil over on the inside, I feel myself getting warmer on the outside. My skin feels clammy. I have to force myself to take a break as I gather the next round of orders. My last order for the day is one of the girls at Rumpel's table. I don't want to go over there. I start carrying the tray towards the table, biting down on my lip as the sway comes back into my step. As I draw closer, I notice Rumpel and the girls laughing about something. I grip my teeth and pause in front of them to lay down the tray.
This isn't mine, it's my friend's. Yes, I was the one who ordered the soup.
The 2 stare at me. Instead of handing the soup off, they wait for me to move the bowl. But before I can reach over and move it, Rumpel slides it over to the other girl himself. For a few moments, there's a fragment of a scowl on his face. How are you doing today, my sweet princess? When I think about speaking, the words catch feebly in my throat. I turn to walk off. Princess?
Still as cold as ice. The title Ice Princess definitely suits her. How could you dote on her, Rumpel?
Despite the numbness of my mind, I still feel angry. I turn around so quickly that I make myself stumble. I feel myself teetering on the edge of falling, but something stops me. Warm hands reach out to grab me before I can fall. Through my dizziness, I see Rumpel standing in front of me. Princess, look at me. He puts a hand on my chin and angles my head so I can see him better. The expression on his face is suddenly serious. He looks at me for a few moments before he places a hand on my forehead. Princess, you have a fever. A really high fever, actually. You should go back to your room and rest. I'll drop by with some medication in a few minutes after I say goodbye to these ladies. I'm fine. My voice comes out hoarse. Trying to clear my throat only makes me feel more miserable. I thought so. She's sick. Princess, you're not fine. You look like you're actually about to collapse. I will not collapse. I'm stronger than that. Mother taught me how to be strong. What the? My thoughts become scrambled. Once again, my mind wavers, but this time I cannot keep myself steady as I try to walk away. Oh, fucking fall on the floor. Putting one foot in front of the other proves to be too difficult, and I once again feel myself start to stumble. Then I feel warmth, this time arms instead of hands. Sweet little princess, what am I going to do with you? Ah! Before I can understand what's happening, I'm lifted off my feet. I feel an arm supporting my back and another supporting me beneath the crook of my knees. Warmth. Such a nice warmth. You really are stubborn, aren't you, Princess Lucette? I guess I'll just have to carry you up and myself. Just lean against him, man! My body's so weak anyway, even if I wanted to struggle, I would not be able to do. So, I slowly lay my head against his chest. Princess, you can see that you need help? No? Still so stubborn. There's an indistinct murmuring behind him that probably belongs to the girls. Rumpel responds to them in a low voice. Stubborn she may be, but my sweet princess is stronger than any other woman I've known. So warm. But are as warm as you are right now, princess. His voice slowly begins to fade out as I close my eyes. For the time being, I stop caring about everything else around me. I forget about Mother, about my talk with the door in the parfait, about the crystal, the Martian, and I focused on Rumpel. It's so selfish. Is it so selfish to want to be the only person held by this by him, even when he was engaged to someone else before? Slumber. I'm so happy right now. Slumber slowly reaches up to claim me, darkness intermingling with warmth. In that last moment, I think I see Rumpel smile to me.
Mother! I have to tell you about the fairy tale that the children read to me today.
Lucette, what did I tell you about the fairy tales?
But there was a princess just like me. She found her Prince Charming and...
Fairy tales are not real.
But they make really good stories, Mother.
They are false stories. Do you really think it would be so easy to live happily ever after?
No, but
Fairy tales make things black and white. Real life is full of grays.
black and white?
Good and evil. No one is totally evil, no one is totally good. Even princes are not completely just.
So princess and princesses can be bad?
Lucette, everyone has darkness to them. The princes that throw themselves into danger are not selfless. They seek wealth, fame, or power. You see, fairy tales are lies because no one is so selfless and so full of love. People are two-faced. Trust no one.
Yes, Mother.
No one will love you like I do. To find pure love like that is impossible. That's called manipulation. I slowly blink my eyes open. For a few moments the room is blurry, and there is nothing but vivid colors before my eyes. My eyes feel heavy, my throat starchy. I stifle a cough as I blink back tears, and then through my tears I notice a slight motion. Rumpel slumped in a chair in front of my bed, his head lolled to the sides, his eyes closed. He murmurs something in his sleep and then shifts. What's he doing here? I notice a notebook on his lap. And what is that journal? I slowly slide my hand out from underneath the covers and reach across the bed. Right as my fingers are about to brush the cover, Rumpel's hand suddenly falls on mine. Looks like you're feeling better. He pulls his hand away, along with the book, before carefully setting my hand back down on the covers. At least you look better. But how do you feel? Better. Rumpel looks tired, but his smile is still there. Oh? I won't believe you until I see it. You just said I looked better. That's my own analysis, but you, my sweet princess, don't sound very convinced. My throat is a little sore, and I think if I stood up, I would fall over. But why do you look so surprised? You would just normally never admit to such a thing, would you? You're still most definitely sick. Rumpel leans forward to put a hand on my forehead. His hand is cool on my hot skin. Our eyes lock as he tests my temperature. After a few moments, he finally peels his eyes away from me and sits back in the chair. Your temperature is down, but you still definitely need the rest, princess. You should go back to sleep. And what, will you just sit there and watch me? The words come out more curtain than mean to, and for a few moments Rumpel looks surprised, then he laughs. Princess, I haven't been staring at you. I've been writing in my journal, too. What the hell? You have such a scary look on your face. Not that it isn't enticing, but I think our smiles are much better. I sigh as I close my eyes for a few moments. I fight to put I'm like I'm smiling so much that I can't talk. Why the hell? You know, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so it's still moving. Okay. I fight to put my scrambled thoughts together, but one thought in particular keeps resurfacing. For some reason, I cannot help but remember the snide woman standing by Rumpel's side, jeering at me earlier. I open my eyes and look at Rumpel. Those women from earlier. Oh, right. I apologize for their impoliteness. The thing they said to you was uncalled for, and I told them that. You flirt with women like that all the time. But why? They're not even good people. Not good people? But, well, I suppose they act differently when you're there. Princess said you're blind to the jealousy, aren't you? They're jealous of me? Why? My mind turns over what they could possibly be jealous about as my eyes fall on Rumpel. Remember the way he defended me to the women. The way I like hum on my food is like the same. I get the same reaction out of it with every time I say in a sentence, because I say all of the time, especially when I don't have a lot to talk about and I'm super nervous. So I'm just like I hear it all the time when I'm recording my voice too. I catch myself multiple times and I find it quite hilarious. Is it because you're my partner? It's a lot more than that. It's your grace, the noble way you carry yourself. They would never think I have those qualities. But where else would their jealousy stem from? They're just jealous that I take your attention away from them. Princess, I think even if they were nice people, I do not see how you could flirt with them when they were just recently in love with someone else. Normally I would stop talking, but the words continued tumbling out of me. Fuck. I do not understand how someone like you, who had a fiancé, could still be flirting with girls. How can you love someone if all you do is flirt with other girls? Flattery is one thing, but you cannot just flatter every girl. Why are you still smiling at me? I may not remember a lot of things, Princess, but I know for certain that whatever feelings I had for Bria vanished a long time ago. The good ones, at least. Rumpel. The words break apart as I start coughing. Don't rile yourself up over this, please. Rest. I slowly lean back into my pillows with my eyes half closed. Why do I even care about what Rumpel does? Why does it bother me that he flirts with other girls? It is his business. Rumpel pulls the covers over to my chin and smiles. Just because I flirt with other women, that doesn't mean that I can't love with someone else. You always say that someone has stolen your heart, but your heart cannot belong to everyone. Yet, you told me you always speak the truth. Ah, maybe that in itself is a little white lie, just some harmless dramatics. But most girls know that I'm being dramatic, Princess. They don't take my words so seriously, even if I do mean compliments. Even if I do mean my compliments. It stares at me for a few moments, thoughtful. Oh, it's 11. Does it bother you so much that I compliment other girls? Of course not. Though it will be difficult to hold my tongue, I will do it for you, Princess, so don't worry. Why would you do something like that for me? My eyes are suddenly so heavy I have no choice but to close them as I let out a deep sigh. My head is beginning to hurt again. Behind my closed eyelids, I can hear a soft shuffle as Rumpel moves in his chair. Right before I fall back into the darkness of my sleep, I feel something warm and soft on my forehead. Rumpel? A good night kiss. His words are quiet, and I can only barely make them out. I cannot think of them, because the pull of my sleep is too much tempting. It's much too tempting. I'll eat the rest because I only have, like, the crust. I just wanted to do that. I don't have any more water, but I'm all done with my pizza, so it doesn't really matter. My throat gets stretchy, I'll just go get more water. Okay. It takes a while, but after several days, Rumpel finally allows me to go back to work for like a week. I cannot remember much of what happened when he was watching over me, especially that first day. It is all but a little bit of a blur now, like it was all just a dream.
Ah, Princess, back on your feet?
Yes, I'm fine now.
Oh, what a relief. Last I saw you, you looked quite pale.
When?
I dropped in to check on you over your room, but Rumpel was there. He told me that he had everything under control.
Why did you need to check on me?
Because I was worried, of course. Maybe you have been working too hard.
No, I'm fine. Just tell me what things need to be done.
Are you sure you're okay?
She's fine, Annis. Anise? Annis? I think it's Anise, but I'm calling her Annis. Her Annis! Dolores suddenly appears before me, smirking. The princess is sturdy and a little too stubborn to let a little sickness get her down. I have not spoken with Dolores, Parfait, since that night when they decided to tell me about Mother. Just thinking about what they told me puts me on edge. Ah, Princess, why the sour expression? Allow me to calm you down with a little lullaby. Excuse me? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Ennis, give me those work orders now. Up above the world so high. Ennis! Oh, the table's on the west are yours, Princess Lucette. I quickly walk away from the bar and catch only the last little bit of Laura sing. Like a diamond in the sky. She sang that the night I was cursed. Hearing her sing it again is infuriating. The song slowly fades from my mind as I go about my work for the day. I'm still a little shaky on my feet, but not so much that I need to go back to bed. As I'm walking around the bar, I catch snatches of conversation as I serve food. I hear the king has been mediating arguments between his two advisors. That Mithros man, he reminds me of a snake always smiling. That slithery smile of his. I've thought the same thing this whole time. I'm like, he's a snake. But one in Ulcaster. Apparently there has been no end to their squabbles.
The king missed his monthly visit to the town yesterday, doesn't he? I wonder if he's sick.
There's been no word for the palace, but I suppose he must have come down with something.
Nothing will keep the king from visiting otherwise.
What is going on at the palace? Ah, you heard about the incident with the royal guard? Apparently lots of them have been getting dishonorably charged. Found something doing to dishonor the king's name. Huh? Like what exactly? Not sure. The information is still under wraps. As I'm walking forward, not watching where I'm going, when I collide with someone in my path, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and then another lifts my chin. I just saw the word chin, and I'm like, and I got stabbed with his chin. And I'm like, Rod? The joke is that one of my friends just makes a whole bunch of jokes about Rod's chin, and I'm like, nice. If it isn't the lovely princess, you're looking a lot peachier today. Ah, sorry. Because you're not as pale? Because the color's coming back to your skin. I'm still thinking of the king and the situations in the palace and barely hear Rumpel's words. It isn't until he leans closer to me and narrows his eyes that I realize he was so close. Ah, now Sleeping Beauty is truly awake. He was hoping I would have an excuse to plant a kiss upon your lips, my sweet princess. Not a single reaction today. No slight blush, not a slap, no. Are you still sick? Must I perform another examination? Plenty face. Examination. Yes, by looking closely at your face into your eyes. How are you a doctor, Rumpel? Rumpel stares at me with surprise. I'm not sure where the question came from, and that was just hovering in my mind. What? Princess, you ruined me! I have not seen you do anything different from Annis. But my prescriptions, even the people at the shops could tell us what medicines to buy. Fine, I'll show you. Rumpel's expression slips into something shockingly solemn. He looks at me gravely and extends a hand. If you would be so kind as to come up to my room. Does going up to your room have anything to do with work? Delora appears before me again, this time without the snide smile. She raises an eyebrow. I don't think either of your shifts are over. She looks at me first. Also, I'm meant for the lullaby to inspire you, not scare you, princess. For a few moments she looks concerned, which startles me. The lullaby is certainly associated with a terrible memory, but the weight of that memory is dissipated over time in my anger at Delora. It has my anger at Delora, but it's still there, but holding on that anger does me no good. I sigh and shake my head. You have a terrible voice. Ah, there's the princess we all know and love. She crosses her arms. Wait. Lucette only still has one good deed, which is buying medicine for that man. So she still needs 2 good deeds, and Rumpel's already gotten 2 of his memories back, so... Anyway, you don't want me to sing you into action again, do you? Come to my room later then, princess. I'll show you proof. Proof? That I'm a capable doctor! You know... Don't worry about it. not not YouTube friendly right there. Going through my mind, I'm like, Rumpel walks off, leaving me with Delora, who looks at me skeptically for a few moments. Something on your mind, princess? There were so many conversations I heard earlier, so many questions that I have. Well, I do not want to speak to Delora. I may as well ask her about something she might know. I overheard rumors about the palace. Did you now? We still haven't confirmed those rumors yet. Look, princess, I know it's not in your nature to trust people, but trust Parfait and me at least. We'll let you know if something is up. I must head back to work, where I spend the next few hours. I think my cat's outside. Hold on a second. Where is that notification coming from? Oh well, I'll just go out of Discord. Beer bag. Shit. This one. There we go. You guys can look at that feed. Alrighty, I'm back. My kitten is being adorable, so I'm just like, yeah. Okay, so I got 2 cats. Ah! My headphones.
Daddy! Come on, baby. I got my baby kitten, Dobby. And then I got my other baby kitten, Tab.
And those are my baby kittens. One is an actual kitten, the other one's like almost my age, so not exactly a kitten. Alrighty. I must head back to work, where I spend the next few hours searching for more information. Wow. Unfortunately everything I hear is just speculation.
Good work today, Lucette. Has Rumpel already left? I think he went up to his room earlier.
Thank you. Ennis looks at me curious. What?
You and Rumpel have gotten a lot closer, haven't you?
Well, we are partners.
But in the beginning, you didn't even want him as your partner. And now the two of you are friends?
Friends?
If Rumpel considers me a friend, that should make me happy, but for some reason it makes me feel empty inside.
Why?
What else would we be besides friends?
My cheeks feel warm as I try to think beyond the idea of just being friends with Rumpel.
I'm happy that the two of you get along.
Ennis, I need to go. I told him I would meet him for something tonight.
Oh, okay. Sorry for holding you up.
Ennis scrambles off, leaving me by myself. I stand there for a few moments in an attempt to still my thoughts, and then I begin to make my way to Rumpel's room. Rumpel? The door swings open, and there stands Rumpel. With a dramatic bow, he ushers me inside before closing the door behind him. I was trying to reposition my pillows on my feet. I wasn't entirely certain you'd show up, Princess. Normally when you go in places with me, it's out of necessity. I only came here to see this proof because you insisted on earlier. Proof that you are more than what you seem. He places a hand on my back and guides me over to a chair. He requests that I sit down, and I do. Here it is, my proof. You tried to read it when you were sick too. Your journal? I've seen him write in this before, but I thought it was for his memories, not for doctor things. He barely even works on his patients now. Rumpel's persistence strokes my curiosity, and I soon find myself flipping through the pages of the book. This was the journal you had when the Martian found you on the streets. You said it was empty then. It was. I've been filling things in from my memory ever since I remembered my job. The book is filled with diagrams. Diagrams of the body, both inside and out. I have no idea what most of the words mean. What are all of these smaller words here? Oh, parts of the pancreas. Not very fun to talk about. There's the papilla, the pancreatic duct. Why is it necessary to use such big words for such simple things? For clarifications, sometimes when you diagnose a problem, it isn't as simple as telling a person that their heart is weak. I continue flipping through it, with Rumpel sometimes explaining things that are on the pages, so I don't ask for the descriptions. Scattered through the journal are journal entries about his life. When I get to the last entry, I spot my name and begin to read. But before I can get the next word after my name, Rumpel has taken the journal from my hands. Sorry, my sweet, but a man's words is sometimes all he has. Insult them and you break him from the inside and out. He thinks I'm going to insult his writing? But what did you think? Aren't you impressed by my sophistication? The breadth of my knowledge? My intricacy? You drew some pictures and wrote fancy words by them. Princess. I cannot help but the little laugh escapes my lips. Immediately after I hear it, I feel myself flushing as Rumpel grins at me triumphantly. Your laughs is sweeter than honey, Princess. And because your voice is back and you're no longer 6, I can hear it sick. And you're no longer 6. I could hear it in all of its fullness. He takes a step closer to me and reaches out to touch my cheek. I flinch in surprise, but do not draw away. The rapid beating of my heart is not altogether uncomfortable, even if it does confuse me. He pulls his hand away from my cheeks, then flicks my forehead. What was that for? I wanted to see the way your eyes glimmered. You look oddly vacant there for a few moments. I open my mouth to speak again, but Rumpel surprises me by setting his fingers on my lips. His finger on my lips. He inches closer to me, so close that I can feel his breath on my cheeks. But even when you don't speak, my eyes speak for you. You have beautiful eyes, you know. I feel the feelings. Does he truly mean his compliments? I know he spoke about meaning everything he says, but I continue to stare at him. I don't look away even once, though I do feel a slight shudder run through me when Rumpel keeps my gaze. Yours as always. There's this like heaviness in my chest right now. He removes his fingers but does not step back. We're still so close and I can feel his breath. Fierce? You. Never backing down from anything. Always resisting, always putting up at a wall. That's why I die. His words falter. Then he simply stops what he was saying. He looks at me again. He clears his throat, then starts speaking again. In any case, it's so nice to have you back, Princess. I missed you while you were sleeping day in and day out. You missed me? But you have friends all over the Martian. Yes, but none of them are you. You're special. My heart plunges like a rock. I can feel it everywhere in my body, reverberating from a place that doesn't feel like my chest. He lowers his face so that the two of us are seeing eye to eye. I forget to breathe as his hands go to my shoulders. Did I take a shower today? I don't think I did. I'm so sorry, I was laughing because that was just like out of nowhere. It was so off topic that it just, what the fuck? It even caught me off guard for a second. I was just like, what the hell? I was just like, That like suddenly came into my mind, so I had to say it. Princess? Yes? I inhale sharply as I get a better look at Rumpel's face. Up until now, I have not stopped to look too closely at his features, but now I cannot stop my eyes from taking them in. Whenever you're sick again, I'll be there to help you. Because I'm a doctor, even if you might not believe it. All you'll ever really need is a little vitamin B. In one precious moment, every single bit of energy that had been between us vanishes. Stare blankly at Rumpel as he smiles at me. No. I thought that was one was actually pretty good too. I'm gonna use that. Rumpel puts his hands away, defeated. I suddenly feel strangely upset. What was I expecting from him? What else could he have said? Suddenly, I'm eager to look away from him. I look anywhere but at him, and my eyes eventually fall on a piece of paper. I recognize the name printed on the top, along with Rumpel's signature and the response lying next to it. Rumpel moves his hand to stand in front of the desk once more. He's like, "You can't see the love poems." You're still writing to Bria? I sent her a letter asking for my old journals. I'm convinced that it's where the last of my memories are, but I think I'm bleeding. Whoops. She refuses to give them to me. I glance at Bria's letter, my eyes scouring the words. I make a mental note of the address on the envelope. But don't worry, Princess, I'll figure it out, but for now. He reaches for me, so I duck out of the way of his hand. I have to do this now, but the address is still fresh in my mind. I just remember there's something I need to do. But, Princess, I will see you tomorrow. I pause at the doorway to glance at Rumpel. See you tomorrow, Princess. Sweet dreams. Good night, Rumpel. My mask looks like a face mask, like a sleep mask. So I'm like, shit. Done. I seal the envelope over the letter that I've been writing since I woke up. Now to have it delivered. After I have the letter sent off with the messenger, I return to my work for the day. It starts off with Mr. Broom. It starts first with Mr. Broom, then with the serving. I look for Rumpel, knowing that it's now his time off, and I'm surprised when I see him sitting not with other women, but with Karma. The two of them are laughing together? I guess that advice isn't too terrible.
I give the best advice, darling. I'm the man of the heart. I'm a man of heart.
Well, it's not as much as I am, but I can give you credit when it's due. What are you two talking about? Princess!
Well, hello there, princess.
He was asking on how she... Oh my god. Karma's mischievous smile confuses me. Even Rumpel looks surprisingly shaken. He's like, oh shit. Shit, don't say anything, Karma. And there's another. I think I'm just like a blue metallic. Oh, what, man? Okay. Even Rumpel looks surprisingly shaken. You did not answer my question.
We're talking about matters related to the heart.
Of course you are.
I took it upon myself to impart valuable advice to Rumpel.
You were giving Rumpel advice? Even though the two of you were always at each other's throats?
Aha! Even the bitterest enemies can be beloved friends. All it takes is a shared interest.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But before I can say anything else, I'm swept up by Delora, who calls me back to work. There it is. I was like, feeling, I was like, huh, I'm gonna yawn, but I don't feel it right now. So then I started yawning, and I'm like, oh, it's almost midnight, whoops. Like I slept for like 5 hours, 3 hours. The day goes on and and soon it is almost my break. I go to the front to see if the messenger has returned yet.
Oh, Princess, that's your letter here for you. I did not expect a response.
I open up and stare down at the letter for a long time. Writing love letters to a secret lover, Princess? Rumpel appears behind me, and his smile unusually small. He's like, fuck. He looks almost hesitant to be standing there. It's not important. I stuff the letter into my pocket and continue working. For the rest of the day, I ignore Rumpel. I do not want him asking about this letter, just in case things do not go according to plan. According to Keikaku. He's obviously disheartened by my ignoring him, and his sadness only persists in making me feel guilty. It's just not something he can know about, otherwise he will try to stop me. She's asking for the journals, isn't she? Almost everyone has gone to their rooms, including a very saddened Rumpel. Oh. The only people remaining are Annis and myself. Earlier, Waltz came in insisting that he speak to Delora and Parfait, and so the three of them are all off walking in the other room. Oh, to the other room. Oh, am I yawning so much? Curiosity gets the better of me, and I soon find myself sleeping closer to the door. I edge it open quietly with my cloak so that I can see what's happening inside. I don't think he was still alive.
This is very troubling.
He must have used a glamour. But the fact that I didn't realize it was him, Is that the princess I spot peeping through the door? I try to hide, but all of the eyes in the room catch me before I can do so. Do you eavesdrop on people often, Lucette? I have no real reason to eavesdrop on them besides my own curiosity.
It's not harm done, Delora. Lucette, are you almost done with your chores?
Ever since that conversation with the Parfait and Delora, I'd noticed that the words Parfait and I speak to each other are strained. Delora, however, is unchanged. I expect sarcasm from her now, but she does not deliver. She simply stands still and looks at me somberly. I am. And what are you all talking about? Hiding more things from me? We're talking about the rumors that are going around the palace. What have you heard? I have a right to know what's happening at the palace.
We would tell you if you knew for certain, Princess.
Walt sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. I know the timing doesn't seem right, but I should really show myself out. I have a show early tomorrow morning. He glances around at all of us. I'm going to excuse myself for the night. Good night, everyone. As he passes by me, he smiles. And see you too, Princess. I don't know what his voice was there. Once again, everyone is being secretive. Why the sour face, Princess? Are you worried about what happens to the people in the palace you cared nothing for?
Delora!
Okay, that was uncalled for. But really though, there is something I've been meaning to tell you. Since you're here now, I might as well say it. I knew you for 1 year before I cursed you. I saw what your mother had done to you, and I knew I needed to undo the damage before your birthday. Why is she talking about this now? I called you cruel and wicked when I knew that the way you were was caused by your mother brought you up. And when we talked about Hilda the other day, I was unfair in what I said to you. We all have to face reality, but... Delora pauses, looking surprisingly solemn. She sighs, then continues. I always knew you had some good in you. I saw it when you spoke to your dolls. You have a good heart. Many people enjoy flattery, Princess, and a lot of the people are receptive to flirting, but nothing can measure up to a genuine compliment. Delora just complimented me? Say, thank you, say, thank you, say, thank you, say, thank you, thank you. Out of all people, I did not expect Delora to compliment me. I wish she makes a point of always telling me the truth. Oh, what, like, movie movie theater popcorn right now. I have popcorn downstairs, but it's like really late at night right now. I was gonna make a tuna melt earlier, but then I'm like, you know what? We still have pizza, so I got myself some pizza, and now I want movie theater popcorn, like the super salty and buttery kind too, which is like probably super bad for you too. Thank you. There's no shock on Parfait and Delora's faces when they smile at me.
I'm beginning to think that you and Delora are like, you're both stubborn and have a good in you, but you hide it behind sarcasm.
Hey! Lucette and I are nothing alike. I feel lighter somehow. Hold on a second, let me eat a piece of ice. Ow. This music reminds me of Gerudo Valley thing. It reminds me of Ocarina of Time's Gerudo Valley theme. That was probably so bad. I played Ocarina of Time not too long ago, but I was still in the Deku Tree, and I'm like, fuck. I do not know if I have forgiven Dolores just yet, but her cursing me has led me to see so many things I would not have seen before. I owe her nothing, but I'm still happy, even if the truth hurts. Oh, what's this? My lovely princess isn't here with you too?
Ah, Rumpel, you're early tonight.
Surprised to see me, beautiful. Rumpel's earlier anxiety is gone. He looks at me with unbridled enthusiasm. I owe the princesses thank you from a distance. The words are always most beautiful in leaving her mouth. So you were also eavesdropping. You two are very alike. Not at all. Rumpel leans towards me and smiles. My dream is... Okay. I was like, wait, what did I get that for? My dream is to one day hear those words from you too. Because you say them as gentle as the wind. If you're here to talk to Parfait about medicine, then I'm out. Who said you should leave too? Well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens. Maidens? Well then, sleep well, beautiful maidens. I quickly finished her chores and returned to my room, where I lay on my bed contemplating tomorrow. I cannot believe Bria wrote back to me. Tomorrow I will meet with her, and hopefully she will agree to give me his journals. I hope this works. For Rumpel's sake. Chapter 8. Chevalier. This is probably the last chapter. I'm not sure if I should finish it up, because I only played up to chapter 6. This is chapter 8 right now. Or, I played chapter 6 and 7, but I haven't played 8 yet. I'm gonna go get water, so that's gonna be my break. baby. She's probably run through here multiple times. I also got chocolate eggs from on top of the fridge. I don't even know if you guys saw this. Alrighty. So I'm probably just gonna be like munching on these chocolate eggs. I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of chocolate covering my mouth and it's gonna not look sexy at all. Was it this side or was it? It was that side. Okay, I have another one on this side, me. Okay. Today I'm outside by myself. I think if Parfait or Delora knew, they would do worse than scold me. I shuffle uncomfortably as I sit in the little cafe Bria told me to wait for her at. A part of me is already convinced that she will not come. When I wrote her that letter asking for Rumpel's journals and she responded so easily, I was a little suspicious, but this is really the only chance I have. The only chance you'll have at what? Bria appears in front of me, not looking altogether pleased, but still not smiling. Nothing. I do not like her, but I will have to play nice if I want to get Rumpel's journals back. Thank you for meeting me out here. Bria takes a seat in front of me, her expression still flat. You asked me in your letter why I was refusing to speak with Rumpel, and then you told me why you wanted to meet with me to find out why. You want the journals too, don't you? She reaches into a bag and pulls out a few journals that I assume are Rumpel's. Oh, she has all of them. So she does have them. I know in your eyes I must seem the villain, but I'm not the only one in fault in this relationship. Years ago, when I met Rumpel, he was as he is now. Flirtatious, charming, over the top, and yet his compliments still make my heart sore. His compliments may be shallow, but Rumpel's still far from it. I pined after him for years. He was learning medicine, and I was studying to take over my mother's sewing shop. In the first years that I knew him, Rumpel always complimented my work, even though it was nothing special. He insisted we do trade-offs. When we started dating, he would offer me flowers and trinkets, and in exchange I would sew him some article of clothing. Hold on. I can see he's still wearing the scarf that I made him. That scarf was from Bria? We fell in love. Rumpel became a changed man, more serious. He became a doctor, and I opened up a shop. We were supposed to have a fairy tale ending, but her expression falls again, and she looks absently down at the table. We saw in each other's ideals that didn't exist. Love can be shallow, or it can be deep. I felt our love was deep, but in truth, I only never knew the very surface of Rumpel. The surface? I saw his kindness, his charm, and his drive to do what was right. But then, as time went off, I only saw what that meant. The world is a place where only the stronger survive. People are kind, but they will take advantage of those who are too caring. Those sound like Mother's words. I shudder as I think about Mother's pessimism, the same kind that lies in me. It's a realistic way of looking at the world, but it's also so dismal and cloudy that it's impossible to see any light within it. Rumpel helped a lot of people. Many of them were such wonderful people, and I was always so happy to see him do so much. Then he started putting other people above himself, and because we lived together, that meant me as well. Maybe it sounds petty to you, but no woman wants to live in poverty. I looked at her skeptically. In the back of my mind, I remember the convenience of luxury, of so much money. Then I recalled the feeling of living poor on the streets and flinch. We had a house and we had a reputation, but Rumpel refused money most of the time. He helped lots of poor people, but he also dried our wallets. Whenever I brought it up to him, he would smile as if that could just get rid of all of our problems. He made a name for himself as a doctor who helped the poor in for minimal money, sometimes free. And even when I told him we needed more money, he put the other people first. He was so selfless that he became selfish. And I told him that he should have accepted the money, that he needed it. So selfless, he became selfish. I had to go behind his back and find payment, and that what I was making wasn't enough. So I went to find his patients and tried to ask for payment. I became almost like a beggar. Can you imagine my humiliation? Rumpel put his patients before Bria. I was so convinced he didn't love me. My love for him dwindled. Our relationship became strained. Bria goes on to explain the events that happened between her and the nobleman. He was one of Rumpel's patients. When she went to ask him for the money he originally offered, the two of them became intimate, but it was short-lived. When the nobleman left her behind, Bria had to deal with a soured reputation. I wanted to make it up to Rumpel. I thought I could salvage this relationship, maybe even start over and teach him what was right, but that is not my place. She sighs deeply and then gestures at me. I share the blame in all of this too, and so does Rumpel. That's why I've decided to let this all go. Whatever he does now, you'll have to deal with, because you're his partner, right? Bria hands me a bag of the journals. And don't look so surprised. You came here for these, not to listen to me. I had thought on it last night, and I have no reason to keep them around while they'll just continue making me bitter. I'll have to rely on myself for a while, but that's fine. Sometimes it's easier to keep to yourself than to trust others. She moves to stand up, but I surprise myself by reaching out to grab her hand. Bria! I don't need your pity. I thought the same thing. What? I still think the same thing. It's so much easier to close the world off. It's so much easier to trust no one but yourself, but it should also be a balance. That's what Rumpel's taught me. And I want to teach him how to have balance, too. You? You're falling for his kindness the same way I did. You fell in love with him, even though you told yourself he was shallow and unrealistic. My heart thumps once, loudly in my chest. Love? I can read it right off your face. I know how it feels too, but don't get wrapped up in an ideal, little girl. That's my warning. If you can help him, actually help him, then you're meant to be together. Ha! I forgot. I don't know who Asa is. I totally forgot. But otherwise, trusting Rumpel might only break your heart. I'm not a little girl. I know how to be realistic. It's stuck again. It's stuck on the same frame as last time, too. I think it's moving. Alrighty, I don't think we're stuck anymore. Why do I only have two? Okay, it's not stuck anymore. At least I don't think so. I touch the pendant. The new piece brings a brief smile to my lips. I have 2 good deeds now. Now only 1 more and I can break my curse. Magic? Is this another fairy tale curse? Yes. Your name was Lisette, wasn't it? Rumpel talked about you fondly. I hope that the 2 of you break your curses. Good luck. Bria walks away, leaving me by myself in the town square. My mind still whirls with everything that she just told me. I still cannot bring myself to like Bria, but now I feel more closure now. But now something new plagues my mind. How could I fall in love with someone like Rumpel? The more I say it, the more it becomes a certainty, but rather than fill me with joy, it only makes me more confused. I cannot think about this now. I turn on my heels to head back and bumped promptly into my man. It's Rumpel. Oh, no, it's Bark. Oh, sorry, madame. He smiles at me, then keeps walking. I stare at him, feeling slightly uncomfortable. The mask and cloak, the man reminded me of a performer. Hint, hint. Maybe. I make my way back to the marsh, and with a bag of journals, still struggling to keep my mind from wandering.
Every time I think about Rumpel being so close to me or his kindness towards me, I feel jittery inside.
I felt that way too about Ray.
Despite everything that Bria said, I cannot stop these feelings. These feelings are annoying. Yet even as I think that, I know it's not the full truth. I hear the Martian's doors opening, and out steps Waltz. Maybe Varg is his... The moment he sees me, his eyes widen and run towards me. Princess, where were you? I was running an errand. I hold up the bag, and it does little ease to Waltz's frustration. We were all looking for you, and we got worried that the witches had found you. Rumpel already went out into town. What? I'll go. Please, Princess, stay inside. His expression softens somewhat until all I can see on his face is worry. I'll go get Rumpel.
Shit.
Okay. My mood feels completely dashed as I enter the Martian to hear whispers both relieved and disappointed. Surprisingly, I get away with just a lecture from Delora and Parfait. It seems as if there's something else on her mind, something that most likely involves the rumors circulating around town. Goddamn. I wait downstairs for a long time for Rumpel, but neither him nor Waltz appear. Where are they? I retire to my room as I wait for news. Waltz eventually returns, saying that Rumpel's still out because he had things he wanted to do. I have no idea what that means, but it still unsettles me. Should I go find him? Look for him! Look for him! I'm gonna get lost. Leave the room. I stand and stop for a few minutes to look at the bag of journals beside my bed. Are you gonna read the journals? And I was looking forward to giving those journals to him. I make my way towards the door, turn the knob, and then walk outside. Princess! Princess! Before I can even think about saying anything, I feel his warmth envelop me and I freeze. One of his hands moves down the small of my back, where it remains as he smiles down at me. I caught you in just the time, my feisty sweet. Did you plan on escaping into the dead of the night again? I won't abandon you in the wake of my dramatic appearance. I hurriedly pry myself away with a little gasp. A few steps back, I can see him in full, and I notice the bouquet he carries. I'm glad to see you back, Princess. I'm only sorry that I couldn't make it back here any faster. I had a few errands to run of my own to run in town. Rumpel holds out a bouquet with a glittering smile. Like buying these flowers for the girl I really like, for instance. I stare down at the beautiful bouquet made up of white lilies, but the appearance slowly leaves my mind as I think of what Rumpel just said. He bought them for a girl he likes, not for me. You see that? Fucking dumb. My heart feels as though it might be pierced through with something sharp. My breath escapes my throat, but I cannot bring myself to inhale again. Rumpel looks at me in alarm. Lucette. I nudge him out of the way and walk... Oh my fucking god. Lucette! I make my way to the reception area, where I collapse onto one of the couches and sit, staring at the... Oh my god. Are you that dumb? Staring blankly at the walls, the feelings inside of me are too much all at once. Give him the journals? I told myself that they did not make any sense, that the way I reacted to what Rumpel said was pitiful. Yeah, it really was. And I cannot stop myself, excuse me, from feeling small. Oh! I say bless you whenever someone rips. That's what it was. Earlier today, I was like, what did I say that's really odd? I sink into the couch and close my eyes, willing away the sound of my rapidly beating heart, and the tears sting in the edge of my eyes. I'm not weak. I will not cry, Mother told me. But the thought of Mother makes my tears worse, and soon I'm sinking even further into the couch, trying to hide away the tear-stained face in my arms. Mother, Bria, they both said the same things. They bad in people, and I too have seen bad in them. When I was on the streets, no one in Angiel showed me kindness. People will never show you kindness unless there's something in it for them. They will never. I suddenly feel warmth as his arms wrap around me. I recognize the sensation, the warmth, the comfort. It's also comforting, so soothing.
I must be the worst person in the world to make such a beautiful lady cry. It's a sin I must atone for.
My body stiffens, but I don't pull away. I listen to the sound of his heartbeat against my ear, but slowly but surely, my crying dies away. My eyes are sore by the time I finally manage. I got a ring over my ears. To still the tears, I feel drowsiness descend upon me like a blanket, but I will not fall asleep. Slowly, I pry myself from the arms holding me.
Hello, my love. I messed up again, didn't I?
I did not see the bouquet in his hands, but a journal. One of the journals I brought back from Bria.
You're capable of a lot more good than I am, princess. Just look at this.
He reaches out and touches my necklace. I glance down at it.
You got my journals back for me. I saw them in your room. And I feel it. This one, the most recently dated one, is the one that I need to unlock my final memory. I grasp a second and complete glass slipper around my neck and breathe out softly. Then this really is from retrieving Rumpel's journals for him. I got a good deed for finally doing something good for Rumpel. Would you allow me to read it with you?
He reaches out and gently brushes a tear from my face.
You did all of this for me, and you barely know anything about me.
That makes the both of us.
If you wouldn't mind, I want to read out this entry for you.
I nod, even though I should be shaking my head. Even though I should still be hurt, I cannot but stay mad at Rumpel.
On this night, I'm a poor man. Everything that's precious to me has been stolen away by the witch.
Rumpel's voice catches in his throat as he stares at the words. I look over his shoulder at the journal. Witch. Was he already cursed when he wrote this? Yeah, he was getting the deeds from the witch.
But I have no one to blame but myself. Ria told me before that I would suffer from my selflessness, and so now I find myself here. And now because of that same selflessness, Ria is sick and I cannot save her. There's only one thing left to do. I have wronged Ria in so many ways, and now I will give anything it takes to save her. No matter what price the witch asks, I will pay it. I only hope that Ria can forgive me before she leaves. I will write again when the witch is left. I swear that after today I will change for the good. I will not ask the witch to perform any more miracles.
Rumpel's finger goes by the page where he softly touches a single word. His eyes have the glazed look in them that they have before, and I can tell his memories are snapping back together.
For tonight, good night, and may tomorrow be a better morning.
I read the last word, a name and a signature. Rumpel reads it aloud slowly.
Chevalier Dumont.
Your name is Chevalier? He looks up at me, his eyes forlorn, and then, with sadness, he speaks.
That's right.
It's so strange. It's just a different name, but it seems to change him completely.
I remember everything now.
That doesn't... I've gotten so used to calling him Rumpel that Chevalier just doesn't sound right now.
I remember everything now. I was given the Rumpelstiltskin curse because I sacrificed too much. First it was the boy, the one we saw in the market. I struck a deal with a woman to save him, a witch.
He mentioned striking a deal with a woman, but a witch? I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor.
I thought that he was the witch doctor, so...
Witch Doctor?
Is something wrong?
Her name just sounds familiar.
The Witch Doctor?
It's no wonder I recognize the name. But yes, it was her.
His name is Rumpel.
She promised she could heal the boy, but for a price. I had to give her a family heirloom, my family stethoscope. Next was a nobleman. I could not help him, so he lay in his bed, dying. The witch visited again, and I gave her what she asked for.
What did you give her?
My engagement ring. Bria found out. She told me she'd never forgive me. And then she chased the nobleman to ask for money we desperately needed, and... well, you know the rest.
He gave away things that were precious to him, all to help those people.
Then Bria got sick. I made one last deal with the witch because I was desperate to save her life. But it wasn't until after she healed, Bria told me that what she wanted. She wanted your memories. I don't remember what happened exactly. I think I panicked because I suddenly lost my memories. I ran out into the alleys, bumped my head on something, fell unconscious, and then I woke up here in the tavern, and I have no idea who I was or how I had gotten cursed.
Rumpel. Chevalier's expression grows more somber.
I deserved to be cursed after everything I'd done. I was so selfish. An idealist, maybe, but I hurt Bria because I refused to see reality. I still deserve to be I still deserve to be cursed, actually. But why? Because I'm still selfish. Even having remembered everything that made me a bad person, I still deserve something. Someone I shouldn't have. My heart plummets again as he looks at me. I still want so badly to forge a future with someone I don't deserve. Because what am I other than a poor doctor? I'm no knight in shining armor, and I'm no prince. He puts a hand on my cheek and leans closer to me. The distance between us closes in mere seconds. But still, I keep on dreaming because His fingers gently cross my cheek, and suddenly I know. I know what he's going to say, before he even says it. Say I love you! What the hell? I love you. But I'm not. Whether you're Rumpel or Chevalier, you're still the same person. You need not to be a knight. You do not need to be a knight or a prince. He accepted me for who I was, and he still does. Mother told me that humans weren't trustworthy, but Chevalier smiles at me as he puts another hand on my cheek and pulls me closer. The smile is so genuine, so gentle. The same smile I have grown to love. Ah, that face battle. The fuck? Whatever words I've been meaning to say die in my throat as he leans forward and gently places his lips on mine. Is it? Hell. It's not stuck anymore. Maybe refresh or page. It's not stuck anymore. I restarted the stream. I don't know when they said that. Whatever words I've been meaning to say die in my throat as he leans forward and gently places his lips on mine. I feel more grounded than I ever have felt before, but I also feel like I'm flying. I set my hands on my chest and flex my fingers into his shirt. He runs his fingers gently down my face, and then down the length of my neck. The kiss feels too short, yet I'm still breathless when Chevalier pulls away from me, just enough so that I can feel his eyes. I love you, my sweet princess. For your smile, for your laugh, and the way you look out for other people. You're bold and feisty, and you remind me of a firework. You are beautiful, inside and out. The compliment warms my heart in a way that makes me feel like it might be melting. He reaches behind him and holds out the bouquet from earlier. These are for you. You like lilies, don't you? I take the bouquet from him and bring it to my nose. His have always been my favorite flower. How did you know? Chevalier grins at me, and it's so similar to his previous smiles that I know he must not have changed. The first time I gave you that white chocolate flower, your eyes lit up. I figured out that Chevalier was perceptive before, but the bouquet in my hands feels all the more meaningful now. Princess, I swear that I want to try and change. For you. You should do it yourself too. Myself? You should spoil yourself more too. You always give to others, but don't take for yourself. Now you know what you did, and you can change things. But if Bria can, then so can I. Bria? I once and spoke to her when I was in town today. Well, I was getting the bouquet as a gift for you. We had to talk about moving on, and I didn't understand it fully, and I don't think she did either, but we've both agreed that we should. Either. So I'm going to change what I can. princess. And I promise that I'm going to help you break your curse, just as you helped me break mine.
The last name Dumont sounds very familiar for some reason. I don't know, man. I have, like, some dreams that, like, predict the future. Maybe that's where I saw it from. Maybe it was, like, a book or something. I can't remember. I should go look up Chevalier Dumont, what that name means later, and then tell you about it on Monday.
And I promise I'm going to help you break your curse, just as you helped me break mine. Oh, sorry. All the good things I have done are for you.
Yeah.
That's true. But you've done a lot of other good things too, even if they may not be good enough for you to count your 3 good deeds.
Oh, okay. I forgot that I forgot what Lucette said. It's said. And so I'm like, why is he saying that's true?
It just so happens that your curse is very picky. Good things. Even though I'm still curtain, say more hurtful things than not.
I fingered the necklace at my neck and maybe Chevalier is right. Maybe I have changed, and it's a good change. I sit close to Chevalier as the night goes on. He tells me a little bit about his past, and I tell him about mine. About Mother and the palace. The knight is not one for advice, just listening. And I remember what Chevalier told me once, that listening can be just as meaningful as advice, that listening to others can help you understand them. And he was right.
Princess, are you okay? Oh, if it isn't the princess! Are those dark circles under your eyes from a romantic night out? You were out with someone last night?
No, they're from being woken up early by Delore to do chores.
Delore grins at me from the other side of the bar, but says nothing as she goes back to the conversation with another boarder.
Darling, you were no fun at all. You must tell me what happened last night.
Last night?
Did you like the bouquet?
How did you know about the bouquet?
Why, because it was my suggestion.
When Chevalier was asking Karma for advice, it was about me?
Look at the way she smiled at us. Last night must have gone well. I'm confused. What happened last night? I'm going to go get Rumpel to tell me all the juicy details when he comes downstairs.
That is Chevalier to you?
Chevalier appears behind Karma, smiling. He seems a lot Caramel. He's Caramel. Caramel! I mean, his hair is caramel colored. Chevalier behind... he seems a lot calmer today than usual. He glances over Karma at me, and then we catch each other in a silent gaze. Seeing his eyes remind me of last night, which makes me inadvertently blush. Chevalier just winks at me.
Chevalier? What is that?
Something you say when a person sneezes?
No, that's his name.
Rumpel, that is, Chevalier, broke his curse yesterday. There's a stunned silence for everyone in the immediate area. Even Delore walks over to us. What's this about a broken curse? Was it you, Rumpel?
He's going by something that sounds like a fancy cake.
Parfait seems to be bursting with excitement. Though she is her usual calm self on the outside, I can tell by the bounce in her step and by the way she raises her voice to make an announcement that she's proud. When everyone has heard that Chevalier has broken his curse, people come to the table offering drinks and congratulations. This makes me happy. Chevalier gets lost in a crowd, mostly of women, but to my surprise, Chevalier does not flirt back with any of them. And in between our several liberations for Chevalier, the front door to the Martian opens and Waltz rushes inside. We're Delore and Lady Parfait. I need to speak to them immediately. Waltz, you're just in time. Well, something has happened at the palace. The room goes quiet at Waltz's proclamation. A few people shift uneasily in their chairs. Some try to go back to conversation. Most people do not care what happens in the palace, but I can tell by the waltz of Tone's voice, by the tone of Waltz's voice, that it's bad. It's stuck again. Or is it? Alright, bye! It's doing stuff. I might just, record all of this again. My reactions won't be the same, but, you know, at least it won't be freezing, you know. Most people don't care what happens at a palace, but they can tell by the tone of Waltz's voice that it's bad. What's happened at the palace? An uprising. What? A coup staged by the witches. Witches have taken over the palace. The information is so sudden that it makes me dizzy. I reach out to grab the table and my hands land on the wood before I can slip. Witches have taken over the palace? An army of them? No, only a few. Jurian strides across the room, followed quickly by Garland. What's this about witches taking over? We have some of the best knights in the palace. There's no way that witches could break under the palace's guard. Unless they had someone inside helping them. Alcaster? No, Myth. Who are we talking about? You know him as Mithros. He uses a different name now. Sir Mithros, the king's advisor. He's a witch? There's no way that Mithros is a witch. We would have known. Glamour. He used a glamour. Everything Waltz says suddenly gets swallowed up in questions. Jurian and Garland ask question after question, while others start surrounding Waltz to ask him what has happened to the king and his children. I try to step closer to listen, but I cannot hear over the frantic voices in the room. Sir Mithros. I never trusted him, but I never thought he would be a witch. The room only quiets down when Delora and Parfait come to punctuate the conversation with their own demands for everyone to give Waltz some space. The Martian boarders are all taken into the reception room, where Waltz stands at attention, waiting to answer questions. He explains that he was looking into a rumor about Sir Mithros only a few days ago when he found out about the witches' uprising. It was a surprise attack everyone orchestrated by Mithros, who let the witches in through a secret entrance to the palace. Alcaster was killed during the uprising. Many knights were injured and currently being tended to in clinics and hospitals around the town. After his explanation, I feel even worse than I did in the main room. I stare at Waltz at a loss. What of Fritz? Fritz? Sir Alcaster's son. Fritz Jold. He was my personal knight. If Sir Alcaster was killed during the uprising, where did that put Fritz? Was he working with Sir Alcaster or with Sir Mithros? Did he escape? I'm sorry, Princess. I haven't heard anything about a knight named Fritz Jold. Was he killed? The thought makes my heart plummet. No, Fritz could not possibly be dead. I have to believe that he's still alive. I feel Chevalier's hand on my shoulder briefly before it slides off. Are any of the king's knights remaining in the palace? If they are, then they've either been forced to turn against the king or they've been killed. Is Mithros sitting on the throne? No, he usurped the king. Yep, but he hasn't... Usurped? No, he usurped the king, but he still hasn't taken his throne. Waltz turns to me and his expression softens. Princess, feel free to ask me anything, whatever you want. I'm sorry I didn't answer all of your questions earlier. I have so many questions, but I suppose I will ask them one at a time. What has happened to the king and the others? I'm not sure. From what I've heard, the king and his family, your family, are still alive. I've never cared for any of my stepfamily, but hearing that they're okay is still a relief. Mithros may be keeping them prisoner for now. What is that glamour that Sir Mithros used? Dolores steps in to answer that question. A glamour is a high-level magic used to conceal one's identity. It keeps even other witches from sensing you. Parfait casted the same magic on you shortly after you came to the tavern. It was to protect you from the evil witches. A glamour can only be used by the powerful witches. It sounds as if this witch has been using glamour to hide himself from others. Do you know Mithras? It was a long time ago. We both shared the same teacher. Teacher? Wait. What? So you a witch? Yeah. He smiles at me, but he's weak and does not reach his eyes. Myth was always very competitive. I thought he had died at the end of the Great War, but he's been in the palace this whole time. His disguise is so simple. I should have realized his name was so similar, but you couldn't have helped it. That's what the glamour does to you. Maybe if I wasn't cursed, if I had more of my magic, I would have been able to sense him. Who has claimed the crown? As of right now, no one. The king's been kicked off the throne, and Mithras has made a public announcement about usurping the throne, but he does not call himself king. Is he trying to win the throne over for someone? Myth has no one left. He was obsessed with our teacher, but she's gone. Maybe he has different alliances now? Parfai's eyes look distant as she stares dismally down at the ground. If my curse were broken, I would change him right now and destroy him. I would charge him right now and destroy him. Once this expression becomes so dark, it sends a shiver through me. It isn't like Waltz to look so angry. We need to come up with a plan. Even if he weren't cursed, he would still not be able to defeat Mithras when he has other witches with him. Witches are trickier to handle. Can't just be plunged through with the sword, huh? I agree with Karma. If all of us go in with swords and shields, we should be able to take the palace back. That's what we've been practicing for. Practicing? Practicing? What the hell was that? Even witches will die if you stick a sword through the heart, won't they? But getting to a witch who knows you're there is difficult. I must do something. I want to help. Chevalier wraps his fingers around my wrist and frowns. Princess, the whole time I've been living at the Martian, I was spared the fate of the royal family by sheer coincidence because I was cursed. I cannot just sit here and do nothing while the kingdom falls to a witch. I fell to witches before, and there were dire consequences. I cannot continue to be passive. I will not let myself be like Mother. Princess, I am Lucette Riella Breton, the Crown Princess of Angiel, and I will not stand by and watch when the kingdom is in turmoil. The room goes quiet at my statements. Chevalier's fingers loosen on my hand. I can see a ghost of a smile on his face, though it underlies his sorrow. Spoken like a true princess. I thought so! Okay, I think it's still moving. Whether or not you want to help, Princess, you really can't. You won't be able to use magic until your 18th birthday. That's when you become the bearer. I cannot let this stop me. I will find a way. The conversations in the room continued for a long while. You can make light potions. At some point, it said that volunteers are needed at the hospitals and clinics for the injured soldiers. Chevalier immediately volunteers. Only afterward does he look at me with regret. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? For putting my job before you. And after all I just said, he told me he was going to try his best to change. Bria called him selfless for putting his work before her, but you would be a fool not to. My life is not in any danger, and there are people who need you more than I do. Do what you do best, Chevalier. Princess Lucette, I promise you will do whatever I can to help you. I promised you I will do whatever I can to help you as well. As the meeting disbands, I'm left standing there and quiet. The last to leave is Waltz, who promises me that he will make things right. I'm going to trust everyone, but I'm also not going to stand idle. I will make things right, somehow. Hell yeah, as it is my responsibility as the Crown Princess. You do your thing. Chapter 9, The Witch Puppet. Alrighty, so, we just covered a lot of information, and I'm just gonna stop it here. Ding. I've used 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1,